Going live today with life coach Erica, and we're going to talk about how fitness can help you overcome real life struggles. So stay tuned, stick with us. I'm going to get Erica on board.
For me, it was a big one. I wrote a book. I actually wrote a book, and it is, it's gone to the publishing. It's listed online, and there'll be a lot more to talk about. But what I'm really here to talk about today is how does one go from just having such big goals in our lives and using fitness, to make this happen. So, and the goal was I wanted to lose 5 kilos. I wanted to, weight loss. I was really rigid about what I wanted. I was super conscious about the way I looked. And what I started realizing, in retrospect, I call it the illusion of control. I thought I was in control of my life, but the truth of the matter is, I used to be really scared about simple things in life, like going out with my friends on a Friday night,
Yes.
right? And now when I look back at what else was happening in my life, because
Correct.
our talk today is about fitness off the mat, I was realizing that this was really my perfectionism. It was I was operating out of fear, and most perfectionism is based on this feeling of shame.
Correct.
That I'm not enough.
Yes.
And you think about it, right? When I came to you and I said I want to lose weight, it's almost like I'm saying I'm not good enough.
Correct.
At the space I am right now. So I was trying to achieve the impossible. And if I look back at my writing journey at that time, it was the same story playing out. I would start and stop. Every time I would get some criticism. I remember I wrote one manuscript and gave it to the editor, and she ripped it to shreds. And that was my first encounter with feeling like a failure. Like I felt, oh my God, this is a disaster. This book can never go out. I was ready to close shop and run away, right? And so, if you're listening on this chat and this conversation, anyone in the audience, I'm sure we've all had these moments in our life where we're trying to do something that really means something for us, but one little failure, one little, exactly, it just, everything fell. Exactly. And that's what I did many times. What things that fitness taught me. One was, you often give us variations when we're doing a Pilates workout, or even like a Zumba. Like you say, if you can't do this, do this. And I learned that it was okay to tell myself that I am enough, that if I can't do what the rest of the class is doing, I can do this.
Yes.
I can just lift my leg like, this much today. On is that I will do one thing every day, just a small thing. And I will just literally put a cap on it. I won't do more than that. Even if I feel that, that urge that, oh God, I can finish. And, and that's I can finish 3 workouts today and make up for the whole week. That's
I know. I so
happening off the mat, right? In our job,
we try to do so much, then we get overwhelmed. But just starting with that small thing and perfecting that small thing before we try to go all over the place is so important. And that is how the habit, and that is how your book came out. So that is like something that's so great. It's just the small things that make a difference.
Exactly. That's working out. If you're not taking what you're learning off the mat,
I think whatever
and into your life,
you learn on your mat, whatever principles are there in fitness can be applied in everything else. So once you get that of just, consistency, starting small, creating goals, these are things that you can resonate with everything else in life. So once you get this in place, starting and going slow, creating small goals, starting small, like you said, just a small thing. When it comes to for workouts, I say do, even if it's 5 minutes of your day. The same thing when it comes to a goal in your life, just do 5 minutes of a habit, and then it will take you somewhere. Like you said, it took you to your book. Correct. So yeah. And the thing is that, do your clients have, and how does fitness come into their picture? Like, can you give me something about the clients you work with as a life coach?
Yeah. Absolutely. So It's really interesting the kind of goals people will come into with a life coach, right, or a leadership coach. So the questions that I get asked a lot are, I'm unhappy in my life right now, or I've been promoted, but I don't feel I'm living up. So imposter syndrome is huge. Perfectionism is huge. Inconsistency, procrastination, feeling inadequate,
Correct.
in certain relationships in my life, and how do I do this? So, I'll use an analogy of somebody who also had a fitness. That is always really important. This is a tip for anyone who's listening, and if you want a really ready Reckner tip to
Yes, note this down, guys.
kickstart your journey today, it's
Note
to
it
ask.
down, note it down.
Yeah, note it down, note it down. It's to ask yourself, and I ask every single person achieved this, what will be the new goal that will be possible from there? And oftentimes when people come with a fitness goal, of course I don't coach, that's why fitness coaches exist.
Right.
I deal with the life part of it. But when the person comes and they say, I'm working out and I really want to achieve this, I want that job. So the question I asked her, this lady that had this dream job, is I said, so what do you have in your life when you have this dream job, when you've lost the 5
Goal,
kilos,
that
when
big
you
picture.
reach
Yes.
that that magnificent do one thing every day that you do when you are truly happy. The point is that you can start being who you want to be today. You don't have to wait for that goal to happen. That's the important point that fitness really drives
I
into
think
each one of
acting
us.
like the person you want to become already is so important, rather than waiting. Okay, I only if I reach there can I be that person. But to reach there, you already need to think of what do you want to be. If it is active person, what would an active person do? Ask yourself that question, and then you will get there. So creating those habits already, acting like the person you want to be, will help you reach that.
If you're listening in on this and you recognize and resonate that you're feeling like an imposter in certain parts of your life, or you're feeling like you have a perfectionism or you procrastinate, there's a story that you have told yourself over time. I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, and it's weighted under judgment, shame, and expectations. Okay, that's a fact. So once we understand this, if it's a story, like any book, we can rewrite the narrative. We can, like, any day is the day you can change your story. Today is the day that you can change that story. Okay, now how can you do this with fitness? At least I can tell you about how I've done, how I've shed my imposter, and how I've shed my perfectionism. And I'm in no ways perfect, right? That's what perfectionism and giving it up is. Like, I'm perfectly happy being imperfect today, and I have flaws and I'm okay with it. Use your fitness as a muscle to create consistency in your life. Okay, so it's the same thing, is that if you're struggling with being consistent, like I said, ask yourself that question, is, if I was consistent, if I was going to really take this seriously, what would that open up in my life? What would be that life vision? And if you're struggling with it, then talk to a coach, talk to somebody, because that's the really important piece to really get clear. I'll be this, I'll be that. That's who I want to be. That's who, those are the values. Once you're clear about that, then the consistency part becomes automatic. It won't become an issue at all. Okay. And the second part I would say is integrate. So it's important to get really clear about what you stand for. Who am I? So if I had to finish that sentence for me today, I mean, I've gone through so many variations of it that I can't even remember. But if I had to actually say who am I would say, I am magnificent. I am in my power, I'm in my zone. Why is that so important to tell ourselves? This? Because we're changing the story. When we start changing the story, because when I used to say, I'm overweight, what is the message I'm sending myself? I'm not enough, I'm less than, and I'm never going to tell myself that. So when I say that, then, literally apply that to your fitness. Like, if you are magnificent, if you are capable, if you are, and I'm sure that if there's imposter in your life, there's enough evidence, because imposters always show up when they're scared of you actually showing your magnificence. always stand for them, saying that we will find that way. But you have to believe that you are magnificent. And you have to find evidence for it, and the evidence is there. So that's my challenge to everybody who's listening in on here. Daniela and I will always be able to, her through the body and me through the mind, we'll always be able to stand for your magnificence.